Hi, we're the trail builders from the Pike 29 Memorial Track. If you haven't already seen the video that we made about building the track, I'll put a card up in the top somewhere. Click on that and have a look. I can't express how nice it is to be warm and dry back down in civilization after all our time spent up there building that track.
Yeah, it's good to dry off the skin. We're just going to give you a quick rundown of basically the track while we're riding it, and I might even throw a few hot lines in for you just to spice up your run if you need to.
And if you stay around till the end, got a good tip for what to do after the track. So stick around and have a look. Nice way to clean off after all your pedaling and sweating up on the tops. Sweet, hope you enjoy. To start this video off, I'll give a brief description of the Pike 29 Memorial Track and how it fits in with the Paparoa Track. If you just want to see the sneak peek ride through, skip forward to 2 minutes 35 and play from there. The Paparoa Track runs roughly north to south through the storm-battered Paparoa Mountains on New Zealand's west coast. It links the tiny rural towns of Punakaiki to Blackpool and is around 56 kilometres long. You can see it marked in blue. Looking south, the Paparoa Track heads past the Moonlight Hut and passes over the mountain tops, then follows the old Crescent route down to Blackpool. Looking north, the track passes along the escarpment, then descends down it past waterfalls into the coastal rainforest and ends up at Punakaiki. The Pike 29 track connects with the Paparoa Track around the midway mark and heads 12 kilometres down to the Pike River Mine, which was the scene of the 2010 mining disaster that killed 29 men. You can see it marked green and red. From the intersection with the Paparoa Track, the Pike 29 track heads east and passes along the Pike Ridge. It gradually climbs as it winds its way through the stunted goblin forest which straddles the ridge. In this section, the forest canopy has been forced right down by the wind and a thick carpet of moss smothers the world underneath. This is a unique environment which is rarely seen anywhere else, and it's worth pacing yourself to take it in as you pass through. The environment changes drastically as you descend further down the track. The section of track from the intersection through the goblin forest to the highest point is marked in green. From the highest point, it descends 8.5 kilometres down to the mine buildings where a memorial to the disaster will be built. The downhill section is marked in red and is the part that we're going to be riding in this video. We're the trail builders of the Pike 29 Memorial Track. We're about to do the first run from top to bottom on mountain bikes.
Some would call it the Pike 29 downhill track.
Yeah, from here it's about 8.5 k's from here? Yeah, it is, 8.5 k's, shouldn't need to pedal once. Hopefully we'll get a good time. Although if you're riding it, you got to watch out for walkers, so keep it nice and slow, supposedly. So here we are, you can see the yellow dot is following where we're going. This is the highest point in the track right here, and we go along the ridge. Drawer. So here we're going along from the highest point, the last section of Goblin Forest, before we get around the ridge.
So you can pop up a couple of swales, eh? This is one of the best viewpoints. We just come out here and your mind kind of gets blown for a minute.
This was so muddy building through here. So this is the corner around the ridge. We're heading into what we named the Blast Pass, named after the Haas Pass. It was such hard going and we had to blast our way and rock break our way through here, only making about 20 metres a week in the middle of winter in 2019.
Coming through here in winter was incredible.
But here's us coming back from work on our motorbikes just after we've built it. This is what it looks like in winter.
Definitely a bit of a change up from the norm.
Shows you the change in seasons.
This bit here is quite fun, as you can see here. A little bit you can pop off there. Tom didn't do it because he's a pansy, but
So one of the big things that we were trying to do when we were building the track is make the entire thing rollable. You don't have to chuck a pedal in. We've got a few no pedal challenges. Milty's chucking a pedal in, that's why he gets away. There's I think there's 3 on the way down. You can roll them all without pedaling.
yeah, we were trying to avoid trees.
Yeah, so much effort went into preserve the environment. A lot of these bends are just put in there just to leave the smallest impact possible. Little kicker there.
Yeah.
So the swales, we dug the swales super deep as well as lasting far longer in the weather. That just makes the track that much more fun to ride. You can pump through them and sort of jump out of them.
Yeah, it's almost like one big pump track, really. Felix crashed here on the motorbike one day, just coming down here, just hit the bank and just went down. It was great. Wasn't hurt, so it was all fun and games.
He wasn't in a good mood afterwards though.
No.
It was hard not to laugh.
This little swale here was super fun to pop off on the motorbike.
Yeah.
It's pretty underwhelming you're on a push bike. These corners are really fun. You can just pump into them super hard.
So this one here that goes around to the right is bringing us out onto another face. You can see here that we're passing around on the right hand side of that face, and that's what it looks like in the same angle from the air, passing on the right, which is lit up with the sun.
It's quite rocky though, so you can easily get caught out by loose rocks, so definitely be aware of that.
I want to remind the viewer that you don't want to ride at the speed that we're going in case there's some walkers. You can freak them out.
Yeah, we're coming up on the ridge just up here.
So it drops away on both sides here.
And there's still some cheeky little features like this wall ride.
Yeah, a little wall ride here.
You can ride it 2 ways. And
yeah, you sort of rode up and dropped in. And look at this, was so hard coming through here, just so steep, all rocks hammering through there, eh?
yeah, it's super fun to ride though through here. You start to get that speed up and you almost get blinded by it.
So we're just passing the motorbikes which we used to get to work, and now we're dropping off the ridge onto another face on the way down. So we just passed the 6 kilometre mark. Yeah, so that's a look down on the ridge and the bivvy site we were with.
Super flowy through here, you can really just get the bike loose. So a lot of detritus on the track, so definitely be careful and be aware that there's going to be walkers coming up or riders coming up the opposite way.
Oh, there's a little jump there. That was the one that we built by mistake. We only found it by riding it.
Yeah, we had no idea, but we saw it afterwards and hit it, and it worked well.
Okay, we're heading around to the right again here, around the sort of back face.
This bit here is when it changes, the ground kind of changes a bit, and a lot less big rocks, and it's a lot grippier. And
oh, it's just such a nightmare bringing the digger up through here though, because this face, we named it the dank face because it's dark and wet and cold all year. Well, we're in the middle of summer now, it's got a little bit of light, but it just rained non-stop as we came up here, and we were just knee-deep mud.
Yeah, it looks nice when you ride it, but when you built it, it was just horrible slop.
Down the dank face is a series of switchbacks that you can see we're going around here. Also lots of birds around here, the trees are way bigger.
And this bit here is super quick, you can just come down it and there's heaps of little things you can pop off and roll around.
Into another switchback corner. Yeah, so we're going down the dank face with some of the switchbacks there, and that's sort of what it looks like. We're actually a little bit further around to the left.
Heaps of sneaky spots in here. This corner here was just so flat and horrible. We came and rebuilt it, and we did a bit of a finishing run, tidy up run.
So coming down here, there's two jumps which we had. Go through those two trees. There's one. We've just uncovered it. We go back around the switchback face and the switchback, and here's the biggest one on the track, just over it there. So definitely try and find that one on your way down. We had to cover it up when we built it. So that's what it looks like from the air on that face, and now we're looking over that face towards the Pike River Valley, passing through that forest. So down here we're about to come out into the top of the slip faces. This is it here, there's a great view out on the right over to the Grey Valley. It's also the first place you get cell phone reception. We're going to switch back down through there a few times. Giant trees through here. You can see as you get lower the trees get bigger. And this coming up is what we call Fuchsia Gully. Oh, actually this is where I have that crash.
Yeah.
So coming down here after work one day, I was hurling down in the dark and it was hailing and I went off that swell and just tumbled off down there. Scraped up my elbow and I was such a shitty move.
You're grumpy ass. It's so funny.
So in here is what we call Fuchsia Gully, the native New Zealand fuchsia. There's a whole bunch of them just in here and the birds love it. There's all the kaka, the native New Zealand parrot, hangs out in there with all the other birds and they're all fighting and squabbling and making a racket. It's quite cool.
Yeah, they love the berries on the tree fuchsias.
You can see how big some of these trees are. Well, the GoPro doesn't show it exactly, but they're massive, those trees.
Oh yeah, you have to get out and ride it to really take it in.
I breathed in a sandfly here. There's one coughing and spluttering my lungs out. Fortunately, I've got some footage of Milty riding on the same section here to put over it.
Just, you know, have to listen to this guy try reach.
So quite a fast section down here, jump out of these flowers and come into this corner. And here's Milty doing the same section from another angle. Right, I actually had to stop to cough my lungs out here.
Just destroying us driver time, so make us easy to beat.
End up spluttering the whole way down after that as well. So this is at the bottom of the slip face, which you saw above. Probably about a 3.5k mark, something like that here. Jump there.
They'll hopefully still be there if you're riding down.
This is another super steep face.
Yeah,
good.
This was some psycho building. It's just so steep.
So, and then down here they had to move some massive rocks, so Milty put them together into a little rock ride, and we told the higher ups that it was a seat. I'll point out to the viewer, you can see these tree ferns here. They're called pungas in New Zealand. As we're getting down, it's about 10 degrees warmer than at the top with still the same amount of rain, so it's sort of becoming subtropical, and the whole forest changes as you get lower down. It's just a forest of these tree ferns underneath the massive trees. Now we're rolling through here and got a whole bunch of swells that you can pump through. Well, that's that mud hole where Dave fell off and just got covered in mud. It was really funny. So you pump through these, it's quite a wet face here, then you're onto this, the first bridge down on the way down, or the last bridge on the way up. Going through another forest of giant trees on both sides. This is probably the biggest trees through here actually.
So this corner here was real flat. It looks picturesque, but man, it's hard. You can't rail it at all.
It's one of the worst corners on the track.
This bit here is super flowy too. You've just got these blind corners, so maybe don't go as fast as us. There might be walkers coming the other way, but definitely very enjoyable riding.
And just here we're passing around a giant tree. The switchbacks that are built right around this massive tree. We built a little jump that's coming up here.
Yeah, old boom to boom gap. If you can find it, I recommend it.
There it is.
the best part of the no pedal challenge. So you come through here and hold your speed. You can see we're not pedaling. The idea is you've got to come up over this little bit of hill here.
You roll over it, don't need to chuck a pedal in.
No, that's one of the hardest points. So this bit down here, it's really flowy and super nice. You'll be able to see some of the corduroy. So corduroy was used through really boggy sections.
But by the time you get here, it should be covered. We've got a little double here. They were swales, just close swales. Then we just come to this nice berm, rail that berm, keep your speed through.
We're not allowed to use terms
Then,
like berm.
Nice wall ride, nice corner. This corner's a bit of an embarrassment. Hopefully Mildred's going to get back up there and cut the inside of that out.
This corner coming up, just honestly, you can just push into it.
Get a bit of a shrelt going, it's quite a good one.
Yeah, feels super nice.
Then up here we've got a wall ride, which I got told off about for putting tyre marks up.
You took the whole blame for that.
Yeah. So I was like, yep, definitely won't do it again, and we just kept doing it.
Yeah. You kind of tried to resist it, but it was just too good.
You can't on your way down, it's just too much fun.
Yeah.
So definitely try and find that one when you ride down.
So be careful of the onga here, which is a native stinging nettle.
Oh, good memory. Yeah, that always whip you away.
It stings for days. So.
Bit of an acid drop off that rock on the left.
So this here is a little rock roll. If you can spot it, you can kind of come and roll over it. It looks pretty easy, but just be aware that it can definitely catch you out.
You can see how much different the forest is down here from the top.
This is the no brake challenge. So basically from that last peak, if you can hold off the brakes here, basically you build up enough speed by the time you hear your peak.
You gotta get around that corner. And you pump through here with some other swales that we built.
Still spluttering from that sandfly.
This section here was just all roots and mud. We spent just a whole week surfacing this.
Coming through here was probably the most miserable week that we ever spent. It hadn't stopped raining for about 8 weeks as we came through here, so the whole hillside was drenched. There wasn't a single stream flowing down the hill. The whole hillside was just a stream.
Yeah, this whole section was just so wet, and we actually broke out in hysterical laughter whilst trying to get the track barrel up through this mud. It's all hardened up now for you guys to ride, but I tell you what, it was so hard building.
There's another little sharp corner there.
Yeah,
this
really
corner here has
press
been
into it.
changed. I've heard of trees come down over it.
Yeah, and this section here is super rough and fast and basically beats you up, so this will probably get changed
These swales
as well.
are little tank traps.
take a little shortcut there.
Yeah. So these corners are a bit of an embarrassment, but had big arguments and got overruled, so they're still in there. But you can see where people like Milty are just cutting through.
It'll be nice for walkers, but they're not that nice to ride.
Yeah, they're horrible on a bike.
I mean, going up it's a lot nicer.
Don't blame us for them.
Had to wait for Tom there because I'm 29 and got away from him.
Shut up.
Yeah, 2 minutes.
I'm actually holding the GoPro in my mouth, which is why I sound like that. But we're just getting radiated up because there's a helicopter waiting for us at the bottom. So we're passing through this panga forest here at the bottom, totally different from the top.
Yeah, the tree ferns are just awesome. Almost hides the track, so you've kind of got to guess.
Ferns carpeting the bottom of the forest, which is a bit different. All the moss that's up the top.
It's so much warmer down here. By the bottom, you're regretting wearing any clothing that had kept you warm at the top.
So we're coming out right down at the bottom here. I pointed out that I still haven't put a pedal in from the top. You can just pump down through all these rollers and swales and yeah, just roll the whole way down without even pedaling. Old Milty kind of cheated and chucked 1 or 2 in though.
Still suffering from that sandfly, mate.
Yeah, haven't got over it yet, eh? Alright, we're about to scoot out into the car park at the Upper Pike Bridge.
So I hope you enjoyed the video. We'll probably make a list of all the hotlines. You can tick them off once you've done them. Our recommendation is to start from Blackwall and ride up the Creases track, and then stay in the Moonlight Tops hut in the morning, jump back on your bike and head down the Pike 29 Memorial Track.
Yeah, so when you get to the bottom of the Pike 29 Memorial Track, you'll end up at the Upper Pike Bridge. If you ride down the road 2 k's from there, you get to the Lower Pike Bridge, and it's not obvious from the road or from the bridge, but if you walk 100 metres upstream, you find the most idyllic swimming hole. Have to give a shout out to Felix for actually finding it, because we drove over it 100 times and didn't notice it, and he walked up there and found it. But it's the perfect place after your ride to wash off all the sweat and the mud, so go and check that out.
Yeah, and then head back up the Pike 29 Memorial Track to regather those blood, sweat and tears, and basically then drop down into Puna Kaiki and finish up there.
If you walk down from the bridge, this is what it looks like. It's absolutely idyllic, just trees and ferns overhanging everything, crystal clear water.
It's a bit of a clamber to get there, but well worthwhile. It's such a nice way swimming.
Go look how fat we got, the bush walruses, eh? That's where the name came from.
yeah, gotta have that fat to stave the cold off.
See the bridge in the background there, so it's really close, not obvious one bit. So this is definitely a hot tip after your ride. It's about 2 or 3 k's down the road. Just you roll down the road on your bike and you find this. So after your ride, it's a perfect place to cool off. Another good tip is that you only really get sun during the middle of the day because it's like so overgrown on both sides. So if you were to stay in the Moonlight Hut, ride down in the morning, get there around 11 would be the perfect time, 11 to about 2 p.m. After our ride down the track, we took the heli back up.
I was with a few other head honchos explaining the lay of the track to them and how we built it. It's worth a watch because you can see where we just rode from the air. It's hard to make out what I was saying with the heli noise in the background, but I've chucked on some subtitles of what I think I was saying. So right here we're looking down on the car park where we just came out and the upper Pike Bridge.
Because this place over here doesn't get any sun in winter. You know, for months on end, it's just dripping wet, freezing cold. Alright, that's it after 3 months slip base still view from there. Check it out, little wind down there, canopy and circulations. We go up around here and then it goes that right to see it just in there. Then we've got this corner here and it goes up along there, up to the main bridge. That's at 6 K's, that main bridge. And the 50 type's just on the top there. And you can see this section right here, that first section of plastic that we did. That was just straight from the base of the building. Like nothing. There was a good taster of what was coming up. Slowly going up here. And up there we can see the cliff. There's the area of glass. That was just incredible like back out the half drive basically. Going through these cliff faces, climbing up, we're in a heart of running down, blasting out the section to get through there. And we're making about 20 metres of progress a week. So we went through that for months, went through that here. We tried to make a little impact as we're going through here. We've got some pretty few points out there. And we go around the banks on the because that's what the other incredibly hard part is. So you got to see floating and you're lucky with the digger got rough by slip. Okay, so we go through there, we've got that switchback corner, just behind me, next. That's great, so incredibly steep, it's just a drop off there, you can see. Then he was working there, and we had a rainstorm and put all that gravel that built straight onto the digger and crushed it, so we had to ride out from there. No. It was quite hard down here on that bridge, but then we just got this easy going. It's not even steep through here. We just blasted through 300 metres and we went that up to that rock, which I had to blast out. Where we were just on the, we crossed over and we're just on the backside. If you look straight over here, on the backside of this bridge is where we are. I'll be able to see the digger through the canopy. Trying to make there's a digger, yeah.
So that's it, the Part 29 Memorial Track. It's worth remembering the tragic event which the track was built to commemorate. There's a small monument to the guys who died when you pull in onto the Pike Road. As of the recording of this video in November 2020, the track still hasn't been opened due to the delay in the body recovery operation. Keep an eye on news updates to find out when it will get officially opened. Like I said before, if you haven't already seen the video about building the Pike 29 track, be sure to click on the card here or the link in the description and check it out. Otherwise, share this video around or consider subscribing to see more videos like this. Cheers.